You know, when the Romans showed up in Britain, they didn't just conquer the place, they totally re engineered it, right? From the ground up. So today, we're going to dive into that Roman blueprint for Britain, how their huge infrastructure projects, their roads, their cities, their trade, didn't just change the landscape, but actually forged a whole new nation. All right, let's get into it. So let's just start with a really big question. When you think about the Romans in Britain, what's the first thing that pops into your head? Is it the legions? The villas? Maybe something huge like Hadrian's Wall? All totally fair answers. But what if I told you their most profound, their most lasting legacy is something way more fundamental? That's right, it's the very ground many of us drive on or walk on every single day. The Romans built a network that was so revolutionary, so unbelievably durable, that it literally laid the foundation for the Britain we all know today. It's kind of a wild thought, isn't it? To really get the scale of what they pulled off, you have to picture Britain before the Romans. I mean, it was basically a patchwork of different tribal lands, all connected by, muddy tracks? The Romans looked at all that and saw something completely different, a unified, profitable, and most importantly, controllable province. And this whole process has a name, Romanization. Now, it's really important to get this. This wasn't just about winning battles. No, this was a deliberate project to pull Britain into the empire by introducing Roman laws, Roman customs, and, crucially, Roman infrastructure. It was basically a cultural and an engineering revolution all rolled into one. So, what was the backbone of that revolution? Yep, you guessed it, the roads. They were like the arteries through which all of Roman power and trade and culture would flow, connecting every single corner of this new province. You can really think of them as the spine of a brand new nation. And this, right here, shows you the pure genius behind the Roman plan. These were not just roads for getting from point A to point B. No way. They were military superhighways built so legions could move at lightning speed to crush any rebellion. They were also secure commercial arteries, making sure goods and taxes flowed exactly where they were supposed to. And, maybe most importantly, they were conduits of culture, carrying the very idea of being Roman into the most remote parts of the island. And the sheer scale of this thing was just staggering. We're talking about 8,000 miles of high-quality, paved roads built by hand, crisscrossing the entire island. I mean, this was not some minor upgrade. This was a complete transportation overhaul on an absolutely epic scale. So how in the world did they build something that would last for 2,000 years? Well, it was a masterpiece of engineering. First, Roman surveyors were famous for finding the absolute straightest, most efficient routes. Then legionaries would get to work. They'd dig a deep trench and then layer it with different materials, big stones, then gravel, then sand, all for drainage and stability, before capping the whole thing off with heavy fitted paving stones. They were truly built to last. And this is where it gets really amazing, because it shows just how well they were built. The next time you're driving on a road like the A46, just remember, you are following the Fossa Way, a route laid out by Roman engineers 2,000 years ago. That ancient network is literally hiding in plain sight, still doing the job it was built for. Okay, so where did all these incredible roads actually lead? Well, they led to another massive Roman innovation in Britain, the planned city. These weren't settlements that just grew over time, oh no. These were meticulously designed hubs of administration, commerce, and Roman life. And this slide just lays out the difference so perfectly. On one hand, you've got the pre-Roman hill forts, defensive, kind of chaotic with winding layouts. And on the other hand, you have the Roman city, a clean, planned grid. And that wasn't just for looks, it was a statement. It replaced the old logic of fear and defense with a new logic of order, commerce, and civic life, designed from day one to plug the town directly into the massive engine of the empire. Right at the center of every single one of these new cities was the Forum. And honestly, the best way to think of it is like a modern town hall, a courthouse, and a shopping mall all rolled into one. This was the absolute engine room of Roman city life. It's where you'd go to hear official announcements, to settle a legal fight, and to buy stuff from the farthest corners of the empire. It was the bustling, physical heart of public life. So, with the roads connecting the cities and the cities acting as these busy hubs, the final piece of the puzzle just falls into place. For the first time ever, Britain was plugged into a global economy. It was becoming a key part of the empire's whole economic engine. And this is the key takeaway, really. The new infrastructure, the roads and the ports, they effectively kicked the doors to the continent wide open. Before, any trade was pretty local and limited. But now, Britain's resources could be pulled out of the ground efficiently and shipped all across the empire, while all these luxury goods could finally flow in. Britain was officially open for business on an international scale. And this table here gives us a really clear picture of what that looked like. For the first time, things like wine from Gaul, olive oil from Spain, and that fancy red Samian-ware pottery were flowing into Britain, completely changing how people lived. And in return, Britain's rich natural resources, we're talking lead for plumbing, tin, which was absolutely essential for making bronze, and tons of grain and wool, were all being exported out to fuel the rest of the Roman Empire. It was a real two-way street. Okay, so we've looked at the big picture stuff, the roads, the cities, the trade, but what did all of this actually mean for the average person living there? How did it really change daily life? Well, the impact was profound. I mean, suddenly, people had access to all these new foods and imported goods. They were living under a single system of Roman law, using a common currency for the first time, and they could enjoy public places like bathhouses and amphitheaters. But it wasn't just a simple Roman takeover. Over time, all these changes led to something new, a hybrid Roman-British identity, where local Celtic traditions started to blend with Roman customs. And that right there is the ultimate takeaway. This massive engineering project was never just about moving soldiers or boxes of stuff around. It was a tool for fundamentally reshaping an entire society. The Roman blueprint didn't just alter the physical landscape, it completely rewired the culture of Britain. So, I'll just leave you with this final thought to chew on. Take a second and really consider the incredible